Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper.
Put it in the upper right-hand corner, just like a postage stamp. That's a good bingo.
Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
Well, the Blue Jackets have fallen on some hard times here in the last couple of games. That's absolutely true, but there's still plenty of games left to play, and the Blue Jackets are still lurking just on the outside trying to get back into the playoff picture. But, Jody, a 4-game losing streak at this point in time is not exactly ideal. 2 of those 4 games, they were shut out, and they were shut out at home. You're finding a team right now that is trying to figure out how to play through this time of the season. And look, it is a learning process, whether you like to hear it or you don't like to hear it, but that's exactly what we're seeing from a lot of these young players, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And when you go back to the outdoor game, emotional, a lot of action there. You would expect a little bit of a dip. They went to Florida and Tampa, okay, 2 good teams, but, you can't start playing the game through the standings. And what I mean by that is, you look at the standings, you know where you're at, you understand if you win the game that you're going to be in a different spot and things are going to look better. This team has a baseline of how they need to play, and I think they saw it or they found it in the third period against the New Jersey Devils, where it's hard and it's high action and it's high flying and everybody's involved. Like, this is the time of year where 5 guys need to be involved, let's call it 6 in the defensive zone, and getting the puck out collectively. And then it's 5 guys. The good teams right now are using everybody in the offensive zone to score goals. If you realize it's a collaborative effort, and offensive zone time is only found through good defensive zone, clean neutral zone, which they always do. You don't see the cross-ice passes in the neutral zone when they're not doing that, and when they're in the offensive zone for a lengthy period of times, and getting chances off the rush in that to start the offensive zone time, that's when they're at their best, and that's when they're a handful. And recently, I kind of feel like they haven't been doing that. So I think a reset of saying, okay, forget the standings. Focus on our game. What does that mean? It means when you go over the boards, defensive zone responsibilities. What's mine as a left winger? That's all I have to focus on. Neutral zone, my support plays, where I have to be, and hunt to get pucks back. The urgency level has stepped up. There's teams, the Blue Jackets, I think they still have a real strong belief in this locker room. I think they have a real good group of veteran players who have been there. They're going to get more guys back, which is going to be a boost. But bringing in 2 new players, having players come back like Chinnikov, putting him in a top 6 role, trying to figure out where he fits in, it's hard to do this time of year. I mean, that's a player who hasn't played here pretty much all season long. And when he was still being moved around. So you're going to see more changes. They got to find the recipe and I think go back to some reliable chemistry that they've had. You see Boone now move from the center to the wing, and it's just there needs to be a little consistency. And I think players now are individually pressing a little bit, but as a team, more importantly, when you press as an individual and it's not coming as easy, then maybe you're not in that position you need to be in some situations. So a team that hasn't scored could be cheating the offense. They really have to guard against that. I don't think they are. But there's a lot of hockey left. And I talk to fans and people in the organization, and it's a roller coaster. It's an absolute roller coaster. I remember when I was in New York, we played against the Boston Bruins, who we were chasing. We lost the game, and we were 6 points back with 10 games left. And we felt like we'd blown it. 10 games is 1/8 of your hockey season. There's a lot of time left. So I know, listen, there are going to be good wins and good losses in the next 5 games. But as long as they stay right there, and if they can put a 5-game winning streak together at the last 5 or a 4-game at the last 5, it erases what's done here now, and it puts them back where they need to be. And I don't think Detroit's got the hardest schedule in the National Hockey League down the stretch. Nearly impossible. Ottawa, let them run. Mm-hmm. But track down the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. That's what they have to do. And to me, those are 2 teams. Now, Montreal is a very surprising story. And they're playing some really good hockey. They have a really strong belief and a very determined game. But in New York, they're catchable.
No, I agree with you on all points there. And let's get to the one point you talked about. The guys are going to be coming back into the lineup. And I bring that up because today at practice, Sean Monahan, Cole Sillinger, Eric Goodbranson, they were all out on the ice to the delight of their head coach, Dean Evason.
Literally everybody's on the ice, today. So it was, it's great. And I think if you watch practice, you saw the energy, you saw the excitement of everybody, and certainly having Monty out there as not only a player but a leader and a person, and how he conducts himself. It's nothing but positive.
All right, so having them on the ice is one thing, but that also brings up two other questions. The first is, when are they going to be ready to play?
I don't have a clue. I honestly don't have a clue. All three will be, monitored. Obviously, we'll talk to them daily and try to figure out the right time. And again, I've spoke to you guys about this before. It's ultimately the player's decision once he's cleared and we and he feels that he's ready to go conditioning wise, then we'll have no problem putting any of the three right into the lineup.
And that is the other question. Is anybody going to come back a little bit less than 100%, or is everybody going to be able to go full out right away?
Once a guy's ready to play, he plays. Like I don't like when a guy comes back and he can't play back-to-back, or he can't play this, or he can't play that minutes, or he can't do this. If he's ready to go, then he's ready to go. So that's always been my philosophy, and just speaking with everybody has the same thought.
And Jody, Eric Goodbranson was traveling with us on the last trip. I talked to him in New York, and he said, look, for me, it's just I got to get my timing back. I've got to be ready to go. I've got to jump into this being right on. There's no margin for error. And I'm sure that Sean Monahan and Cole Sillinger are thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but no, they just want to be cleared. They just want to be told by the trainer that they're good to go. And once you hear that, you go. And once a coach gets the knock on the door and says they're good, then they're good. And that's how it works. So these guys have been working extremely hard. You go through the injury, you go through rehab, then you start strengthening, and then you get on the ice, and then you start practicing by yourself and skating, and a lot of hard work just to get conditioning and strength back up. And then you get out there with players and timing, and it's a completely different animal. So the situation this team is in, listen, I think they're in within the next week, where the organization is at. If they had a little cushion and things were rolling along, why change it up? But I think there's an urgency to get them back. I don't think you play them against Florida because they're big, they're heavy, they like the board battles. I don't mind Pittsburgh, and I'm just speculating. I don't mind Pittsburgh. I don't mind the Islanders. Those are the teams for me that I would look at and circle and say, okay, 1, 2, or 3 you guys are playing in Pittsburgh, or and then there's decisions too. If let's say, the Jackets are playing Florida tomorrow night. You win that game. I don't know if you go into Pittsburgh and change it on a back-to-back, unless you have some fatigue or another nagging injury. Then maybe you throw one of those or two of those guys in. So it is a day-to-day business. It's day-to-day, Bob, and now we have just 15 games left, which is incredible.
I just feel like this team really needs Sean Monahan back in the lineup right now.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, and it's just, look, the last game, I understand they're probably trying to get Marchenko and Chinakhov going, but Dmitry Voronkov in the middle on, if you're going to call that a top line.
He hasn't done it all year.
No, he hasn't. And it's just not, that's where earlier you mentioned grasping at straws. I think right now you're just trying to find something that works, right? But Sean Monahan, and this is nothing against Adam Fantilli. He continues to play really well. But you just need that veteran guy at this time of the year back in the lineup.
Oh, and Marchenko loves Monahan. I mean, he played his best hockey with Monahan. And for some time with Fantilli, but when you're the top line of a team, the other team is focusing on them. And they're also focusing on Zach Werenski. And when your best player is a defenseman, it makes it easier to focus on your team and try to shut him down, especially in a 7-game series. That's where they need to get some momentum here with some other lines to be threats to open up Zach Werenski. And, it's no knock on Fantilli. Second line frees him up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's in a different spot, but he's also still young. He's played a year and a bit in the National Hockey League, almost just over a year, because he only played half a season last year. And, there's a patience to the game. There's a There's a learn to live to fight another day mentality in this league right now. He's done a really good job, but there's times in the games or in a big moment where he's naturally going to try to go for it and press, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good trait that he has. But there's something Monahan has that's a quietness to him that's why he's the number one center. That's severely missed.
Yes, and you mentioned Marchenko. He looks pretty frustrated here lately, and yeah, it's what you were saying. The other teams are now keying on your best players, right? Marchenko gets the puck. There are two guys on him.
It's not a one-man show.
Right.
This league is not a one-man show.
Kent Johnson gets the puck. There are two guys on him now. I mean, all the time. We're not playing in the middle of December where he can make mistakes, right? If you're a playoff team, everybody's on their game.
You watch the Oilers. Connor McDavid, best skater, best player in the world when it comes to that electric burst, and you think, oh, watch this guy. No. He needs his players to get the puck, and he needs to hide and find it and get it back. And Austin Matthews, one of the best shooters in the world, struggles because he needs his teammates to play better, play around him, understand him. He's got to understand work away from the puck. So Marchenko's frustrated. That's okay. But, he's going to have Monahan back. Is Monahan going to be 100% and ready for playoff hockey? He might have to wait a few games for Marchenko. Might have to wait a few games. Maybe not. But it's a boost to the lineup. It's a mental bounce for Marchenko. And don't forget about Voronkov. He's better with Monahan as well. So, that's just the makeup of a team and experience. And Fantilli, there's not one thing I would change about that player because he's got all the skill, all the assets, all the drive and big moments. You'd rather have that than someone you have to say, all right, get going out there. No, he's not a guy you have to tell to get going.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. As you said, there will be changes, obviously. Sillinger comes back. The one line that they're kind of leaning on here in the last couple of games is Danforth, Aston Reese, and Olivier. They got the goal the other night against New Jersey. That seems to be, they were apart for a couple of games there, but when they needed some kind of stability and answer, that's exactly where Dean Evason went back to.
Well, he had it in Minnesota with that Eriksson-Ek line and Foligno, Marcus Foligno, and they were hard to play against, but they also played straight-ahead hockey. You need the puck pushed down to the offensive zone. They can do it. They understand their role to a T. And I think it's the most important part of this last 15 games and getting guys back is understanding what lines are going to be like and their roles within lines and roles within games. That's where you have to now start to accelerate. And I think there are teams in the league that are struggling because they still don't have a lot. Like I look at New York, there's still something missing. What's the top line? Move Lafreniere here. Move this player here. With the Blue Jackets, all right, James Van Riemsdyk, he was great with Kent Johnson, but now he's on the fourth line. Like you have to settle in with your lines and let everyone feel important within their role so that, and for me, I'd use Van Riemsdyk as an accountability person. Second line's not going. All right, James, you're up there. 2 shifts with him. All right, you're back down. It's good to know that, okay, I'm not going, and the coach sees it, so that's why I'm missing these 2 shifts. Now I better play better. And that's the time of year. It's important to understand your role, where you're at, but also that, hey, if things aren't working out and you're not playing your game, it's time to take a shift or 2 off.
Yeah, a really, really good point. Well, coming up next, we're going to talk to a young man that has done nothing but make adjustments all year long. He had a great camp. He went to the American Hockey League. He's now been up here for a couple of months, and here he is in the midst of a playoff run in the National Hockey League. Denton Mateychuk, Blue Jackets defenseman, will join us as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
You hear that crunch? It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Bread Financial is proud to be the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets. They provide simple, personalized payment, lending, and savings solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings and CDs to buy now, make that score now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for your budget and your goals, hockey or otherwise. Learn more at breadfinancial.com. And let's go Blue Jackets.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center. Windy and warm on this Wednesday. Temperatures around 70 degrees. Scattered showers move in overnight with a possible rumble of thunder early. Those showers will be out by Thursday morning. Temperatures starting off in the mid-40s. And while we will see some sunshine during the day Thursday, it'll be windy with scattered showers to finish the afternoon. Temperatures right around 40 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
You're listening to The Inside Edge.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Here's Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Welcome back to The Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley, joined tonight by Blue Jackets defenseman Denton Mateychuk. And Denton, first of all, thank you for giving us some time here tonight. For you, we were talking in the first segment of our show tonight about the struggles you guys have gone through as a team. And look, it happens, and it's things you have to adjust to. But as a rookie defenseman who is in his first year in the National Hockey League, how many different adjustments are you trying to make to your game to help not just yourself, but help the team too?
Yeah, I mean, there's always adjustments to be made, and I think it just goes back to looking at the basics and keeping it very simple. I mean, I think we have started to kind of overcomplicate, and it just kind of keeps unraveling a little bit. And I think last game, watching the third period, that's the type of hockey we want to play, and as a whole, we have to get back to that, and I think myself included.
I'm wondering what's the mood of the team?
The mood is still pretty good. We're all still, really close, and, we kind of are good at flipping the page and, just coming into the rink next day, ready to work. And I think, we know that, we're not, the puck's just not going in right now, but, the guys are still, very positive.
Who are you impressed with as far as leadership in the room at this time?
I think, Z and Ollie, those two guys, and obviously Booner too, but, those two guys, they kind of, they don't, especially Z, he's not, always super, talkative, always all around. And then, but when he's speaking, everybody's listening, and he, he'll always come in and be positive, not much negativity. And I think, that's something, for myself, looking at that, somebody that I, look up to on the ice and stuff like that. So, when he's talking, I'm listening.
Denton, this is not just an important time for this year for this organization, and you're going to be here a long time, and this is your first year, but it's good to have a little bit of struggle, and that's probably hard to hear. But if you guys get through this, because if you look at the standings, you're still right there, and the importance of the games you're playing and the situations you're in, it's one of the greatest times in the National Hockey League to be in this race. So for you personally, what's it like when you come to the rink? Is it much different than it was a month ago? Is it more urgency? Is it more pressure? How do you feel about your game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, still, obviously pretty similar coming into the rink as a month ago. But, the intensity is, just turned up a little bit, and, the importance of, every game just kind of gets a little bit more, turned up as, we're down to our last 15 games already. So, I mean, I think, from that perspective, it's starting to get a little bit, time to put together a couple wins here and get going.
Do you notice a difference in games, the way teams are playing?
Yeah, I think, we've played, like New York, we played them earlier in the year a couple times when, earlier in my call-up, and then, we played them 2 times recently, and you can see, the adjustments that they're starting to make and, things like that. I think, teams are starting to, know it's that time of the year, especially, we've had, quite a few, teams in our division that we played against recently. So I think, seeing that and, everybody turning it up.
It's getting tight, Bob, out there.
It is.
Low event, they call it.
And I wanted to ask you if you feel, are teams playing you differently? I feel like when you kind of came in, you're a rookie guy, and maybe people weren't paying as much attention at that time, but now you've been here for a while. Now you're in this crunch. Do you feel the teams are trying to pressure you a little bit more, or is it the same thing you've been dealing with all year?
I haven't really noticed it. I think it's been, kind of pretty similar throughout the year. I mean, I haven't noticed it, but could be a little bit maybe.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, right, and those are the kind of guys you look for at this time of year, right, John?
Oh yeah, I mean, you've had a great start to your NHL career. There was a point maybe about 3 weeks ago. Did you kind of feel it a little bit? Were you feeling a little bit of fatigue, or things weren't going or happening as easy for you?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think it was on our road trip there in Florida. I think those teams were pretty quick, and then kind of get behind the 8 ball, and then it's hard to get it going. And I felt like those 2 games, it kind of just fell behind, and then it was hard to get back into it. But I mean, since then I've felt pretty good.
Well, you talked to Provorov a lot because he was a first-round pick. He was a guy who's kind of adapted in his career. He's been through a little bit. Does he help you?
Yeah. I mean, there'll be situations, especially on the bench and stuff, where we'll chat, and if I see some or he sees some, we're good. We've got a good enough relationship where we can let each other know.
When you guys were going through the 2 games at home here, Vegas and the Rangers, I mean, a team, you have been one of the top scoring teams in the National Hockey League. Sometimes it looks like goals come easy for you guys. Back-to-back games where you get shut out, and then you go the first 2 periods against Jersey and you get shut out. Look, you guys are human. How hard is it not to get completely frustrated and just be kind of like, what the heck is going on here? We know we're not this kind of team. How do you deal with that mentally?
Yeah, I think, obviously against Vegas, we had a lot of chances early, and then, when you see it's getting later and later in the game, it starts to get a little bit more frustrating. And then, we kind of flipped the page after Vegas, and then, it's kind of a similar thing with New York. And, it's definitely, it's easy to get frustrated with it, but I think that just goes back to the leadership in the room of the guys, being very positive. I think, that's a huge part of it to, stay mentally focused on it and not get frustrated.
After the second period of the Jersey game, I talked with Scott Ford, your assistant coach, and he said, we have to have 20 shots on goal in the third period. And I thought, okay, well, I understand a coach saying that. And then you guys come out and rip about 24 shots on net in that period, finally get a goal. Is that a period? Are you hoping it's a period that can propel you into tomorrow's game against Florida? Or you definitely know that finally there was something there the minute that puck went across the line, and it's kind of back to being you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole period, that's the game we want to play. And I think, once that goal, we still had some good chances after that. And I think, we're just going to carry that into next game, into the coming weeks.
I want to know so far, what's been the highlight of your first NHL season, and what are you looking forward to the most here for this last 15 games?
I think highlight probably that outdoor game. I mean, I had never played in, an outdoor game to begin with, and then let alone in front of 95,000 people. And, just the whole experience that day was, pretty special. I had my mom there, and it was, it's awesome. And then what I'm looking forward to, I mean, obviously, being in this hunt, for the playoffs, it's special. I mean, you see how bad, some of the guys in the room, they want it. They've been here for a while. And, for me, it's kind of just my first year. So I'm kind of getting, just used to everything. But, the playoffs is, it's where, you're battling for a Stanley Cup. And, it's super exciting. You watch it as a kid. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing that I'm most looking forward to.
Have you ever been to a playoff game in the NHL?
I've been to just like the Whiteout in Winnipeg.
You have?
I haven't been in there, but just outside with all the people. They get pretty rowdy there. It's lots of fun.
What do they call that outside?
I think it's called I don't just know it as the Whiteout.
Outside, it's the Whiteout there. Yeah, that would be a great building to be in.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
For the Blue Jackets now, look at, you mentioned the guys in the room, the older guys that have been there. How much do you feed off of that, like their intensity or even excitement?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to, feed off of that. I think, they're like you said, intense, and, they're going out there and, they're working their bag off every shift, and, you just want to follow that and, and just take, things away from that and, put it into your own game.
I want to ask you about, I don't know if you watch the league, but the 3 rookies that are being talked about for Rookie of the Year, they all have great cases. You got Celebrini in San Jose. You have Wolf in Calgary. And then in Montreal, I mean, another defenseman, a rookie defenseman that you've probably seen a little bit, Lane Hudson.
Yeah.
What do you think of the race and those guys individually, or do you watch it at all?
Yeah, I mean, kind of, see it on social media and stuff, But, I mean, played against Lane in my first game in there, and growing up we played against each other.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we played together for a couple spring hockey tournaments actually. So know him and his family a little bit, and yeah, I mean, it's special what he's doing this year. You can't argue against him getting. And then Celebrini, we played together. I didn't know him before, but we played together at the World Juniors. Got to know him a bit. He's a really nice guy and a very good player. And then obviously Wolf. I don't watch many Calgary games, but always see something about how he just stood on his head. So, there's three guys that are making a pretty good case.
Yeah, he might drag that team into the playoffs, and that might be the reason why he would get it, like Steve Mason did here for the Blue Jackets a while ago. But with Hudson, he's getting a really good opportunity, right? I mean, but he's earned it. He's had to wait to be in the top power play unit. He has had to wait to earn some of the ice time. But he's taken off. Did you see that in him?
Yeah, I think so. I think, just the way he, the intensity he plays with and like the shiftiness, I think, obviously for power play, that's really important, the elusiveness. And then, obviously 5-on-5 works too, with man-on-man defense and stuff like that. So you can see, how he can be trusted in those situations for sure.
We are talking with Blue Jackets defenseman Denton Mateychuk tonight here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. We'll have more right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint.
Let's trade lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone. Any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Common Man here. I take my job as endorser for Germain Lexus very seriously. I want to make sure that every Lexus on the lot meets my expectations. That's why I personally sit in each one. I massage the leather. Sometimes I take a nap in the back seat. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Deal time. Lease the 2025 ES350 for as low as $409 per month, or get 3.49% financing up to 60 months on their most popular new Lexus models. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
It's March, and you know what that means. Bracket season. You've crunched the numbers, picked your favorites, and maybe even taken a big gamble on that Cinderella team. But when it comes to your home, gambling is not an option. Spring storms are rolling in, bringing strong winds, heavy rain, and unpredictable weather. The question is your roof ready? At Newman Roofing, we don't leave anything up to chance. Whether you need a new roof, gutter replacement, or updated siding, our expert team is here to educate you, guide you, and give you the best options to fit your home's needs. No high-pressure sales, no surprises, just top-quality work from a team you can trust. That's why homeowners choose Newman Roofing, the #1 overall seed here in Columbus, because we deliver an unbeatable customer experience every single time. So, don't wait until the damage is done. Beat the storm before it ruins your big dance. Call 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com to schedule your spot this spring. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
It's always hockey o'clock. This is the Inside Edge.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Here's Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
We're talking with Denton Matejchuk tonight here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Denton, you were talking about the playoffs and the intensity that you can feel in the room. You've been in the playoffs at the junior level. You've represented Team Canada in the World Juniors. You came into Cleveland last year, right in the middle of a playoff series. So you've seen it at different levels and been a part of it at different levels. What makes it so different here in the National Hockey League?
Yeah, I think, just you as a kid, you grow up thinking about, Stanley Cup, hoisting the Stanley Cup, and, that's what you're playing for here. And not to disrespect or whatever the American League and the Ed Chinook and the Western League, but it's not the Stanley Cup. And I think, that's just kind of that, elusiveness of the, that trophy and how, big it is from the time I was a little kid. You're thinking about that, and I think that's kind of why that that intensity is up. I mean, there's other reasons, but for me, that's what I think.
But in all of those different scenarios, you learn something about playing at this time of the year, right? Mm-hmm. It is different here, and it is the toughest, as you said, the toughest trophy to get. But do you feel like as you're starting to go through this, there are things that you experienced in junior or playing for Team Canada or even last year in that series in Cleveland that just get you more prepared to be a better player right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being in those situations, I think, in those series and in the Western League, we obviously had a couple of tough series when we went to Game 7 in the conference final, and, that was, do or die game, and, you're right excited for, games like that. You got a little bit of nerves, but I mean, once you get out there, you just, you're like, we need to win this game. And I think you can learn so much from that. And then obviously in Cleveland, going to Game 7 too, and we were down 3-0 in the series, and, there was no panic in that room when we were down 3. Like, obviously, there's an urgency of, we need this next game, and let's get this next game. And then it's like, just go on to the next, and we got it right to overtime against Game 7, and we're one bounce away, right? And I think those types of experiences will prepare you for moments like these.
You also talked about the leaders on this team a couple of times as we've been talking here, and I find it interesting because in junior you were that guy. You were the leader. You were the captain. You were leading things, even with Team Canada. How much do you appreciate that, having been in a role where you're kind of the leader of your team, to come in here and watch how the Boone Jenners and Zach Werenskis and Erica Bransons and those kind of guys are doing it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you see, why those guys are leaders, with their on ice and the way they talk and, the way they, take care of themselves and all those things, you can see why. And yeah, there's definitely, appreciation for that.
Our guest is Denton Matejchuk, defenseman for the Blue Jackets. And Denton, I want to ask you, what's a day like today look like for you? Because it's an off day yesterday, practice day today. When you get away from the rink and everything going on, what's it look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, normally I'm a big napper, so I'll go home and I'll probably take a nap, and then yeah,
3 hours?
No, like an hour and a half. Yeah, no, nothing too crazy.
Remember as a kid when your parents would try to tell you to go take a nap?
Yes,
that's the last thing you ever wanted to do. I know. Now you can't wait to take a nap.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And that no, I'm working on Yellowstone right now.
Oh
yeah, so I'm kind of been all over that, and then I've actually, I'm big into like cars and trucks and stuff, so I've been doing like an online auto mechanics course, which is like you wouldn't think that you could. It's more of a hands-on thing, but there's still stuff to learn about on online, and I've been doing that for the last month and a half here, so it's been going well.
So you want to be able to rework an engine or fix an engine? Or
just deepening my knowledge about it. Like worked on cars with my dad, and have a couple old trucks at home that me and my brother like to work on. But I mean, getting a little bit of knowledge more about the engines and all the components that go into it. Yeah.
What kind of trucks?
Dodge. We got a 1990 W250, and then a 98 Cummins.
Now, a lot of people in this area will relate to that because it's a lot of farmers here and a lot of people that are big in the truck community. Do you have a truck yourself? Have you bought yourself a gift?
Well, those are the two trucks we've actually kind of found online and picked up, like me and my younger brother, and it's kind of just a hobby that we've kind of come up with. I mean, we had old farm, like my grandpa lived on a farm. We had old farm trucks there that we'd always rip around, and he had like a 98. So then when I seen, it was actually just a couple months ago when I seen it come up on the market, I was like, hey, you got to go check this thing out. So I'm always on Facebook Marketplace and stuff looking online, and I mean, it's just a hobby.
What about here? There's some pretty good trucks in this parking lot.
Yeah, different. Definitely look different than 1990, but yeah. There's you can get lost in that parking lot with just looking around with all the vehicles.
But you haven't purchased one?
No, I'm just stuck to the old ones.
Yeah.
Cheaper ones. Yeah, I haven't. I'm actually, today I'm going to try and get my Ohio license so I can get a vehicle down here. I don't have a vehicle down here right now.
Right on. That's a great hobby.
Yeah, no, I've always been kind of a car truck enthusiast, and I've kind of taken more on it the last couple of years.
Good for you, because it's important to get away from the game, and you have more time than what people think. I think it's busy throughout the season, but there is a lot of downtime, isn't there? In pro, I know there is. In pro hockey.
No, yeah. You're at the rink for the morning, and then you kind of have the afternoon to yourself. So, trying to find something to kind of fill that time and keep you busy, I think is important for sure.
Has anyone else on your team taken interest in that, or they're into different stuff?
I don't really know if there's anybody too interested in that stuff. I mean, I know in Cleveland, like Cole Clayton, he lived on the farm, so he liked the old square body trucks and stuff. We chat about that, but I'm not too sure here.
How big was your farm?
My grandpa's farm, he had 1,000 acres. They did cattle there.
Cattle?
Yeah.
So how many head of cattle?
I think it was somewhere between like 1 and 150. Yeah.
Would you help him on the farm?
Yeah, I'd help him a little bit. I mean, he passed away, but by that time they were kind of just more renting it out, and so we'd do like any little maintenance, and we go rip around and do whatever we had to do if they had some they needed, but nothing too crazy when I was there. I mean, my dad, he was he grew up there, and then he'd always kind of be there to help and guide us with whatever we had to do there.
Do you have a farm now? Does he have a farm?
No, he sold it now, yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And your family's a big part of your life. I know during the break you went home and got to play some, get on the skates with your brothers and your family. And what was that like?
Yeah, it was good. I went, I got to go home and see my family. My younger brother, just under me, Kaysen, he got called up to the Western League right when I went home for the break. So he took off and I came home. So it was kind of interesting how that happened, but it was awesome because he played in Brandon. So it's only a couple hours. So he's playing his first Western League game. We got to go watch.
Oh, you went?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I got to go watch. So I got to get on the ice with my siblings. That was good, and I got to do some ice fishing. That was fun too. Yeah, it was unfortunate because it was the coldest week, of course, when we went home. It was like -40, so it was like, oh.
And you're still out there ice fishing?
Yeah, still went out. Well, I had to. I would have been disappointed. Like, I would have regretted it if I didn't go out there.
Did you catch some fish?
I caught some fish. Yeah, I was actually just out there by myself because it was during the week, so everybody's at school with my parents and my siblings. So I was like, I'll go out to the cabin for a couple of days, and I went and fished. Caught a good amount of fish, and walleye. So
that's good fish.
It was a good time.
Good for you. All right, and then.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you about the Western League. Explain to our fans that are listening about some of or a really long road trip, how it works in the Western League.
Yeah, so pretty much you'll either go to BC or you'll go to the U.S. once a year. And the road trip, it starts with you'll drive 23 hours, pretty much at least 15. Like we went from my second year in the league, we went from Moose Jaw to all the way to Prince George, and like that's like the farthest. That's like the worst spot to go, pretty much. So you'd go all the way there. You'd sleep overnight, and then you go to all the places. So you'd be on the road for about I don't know, probably 8-9 days, and then you finish the road trip and you're going direct all the way home. Like you just try and sleep through the night, and you'd be on the bus for like 15-16 hours. No, the bus driver will stop a couple times, but that's it. You're not getting off much.
Bob, it's not like the East Coast Hockey League.
No, I still don't miss it.
I think our longest was 6 hours maybe from Johnstown?
Yeah, probably down to Norfolk.
Yeah. So 23 hours. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
No, I had some longer ones in the American League. We went from Norfolk to St. John, New Brunswick, which was a long one.
I used to love the Meal Zone Junior. I was in the Quebec League.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd stop and the bread and water would already be on the table. Meals already ordered, and it would just be like everyone's just
get in there.
Just like birds on the bread.
Hey, last thing I want to ask you before we leave you go. You're talking about a farm and how your grandfather had cattle, and you're watching Yellowstone. Coincidence?
A little bit. I mean, I've gotten beaten around it. I wanted to watch it, and then I'm like, I will start it. This is kind of longer. And then all of a sudden, actually, Fantilli was watching it. He's like, you got to start it. Like, you'd love it. So I was like, all right. So I started it, and I've already finished the first season, about 4 or 5 days of watching.
How many days have you sat down? Yeah, I was going to say, how many days have you sat down and you're like, after 2 episodes, you go, I got to stop. No, I got to watch another.
Yeah, there's been 2 days like that. I'm like, one more.
Right. Wait, have you watched 1886?
No.
Oh, you have to watch that after.
Okay.
It's like the prelude to it.
Okay.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are in it.
Okay.
Right. And then there's the one with Harrison Ford.
1923 just came out.
So you're set.
Yeah.
You're set for a long time now.
I'll be good here now.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We really, really appreciate it. It's been so much fun to watch you play. Good luck to you guys as you're ready to get back at it against Florida and Pittsburgh on Friday night.
All right. Thanks.
That's Denton Matejchuk of the Blue Jackets. Come back and wrap up this week's show. It is the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
The Bracket brackets are out, and now it's time to win some cash. Enter the Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge for your chance to win $1,000.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew. Ohio bottled, Buckeye bold.
Compete against your favorite Fan and 10 TV personalities, and compete against the ones you hate, too. Registration closes at noon on Thursday, so don't wait till the final buzzer. Head to 971thefan.com for all the fun. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Need to tackle your next big project? Choose Ohio Cat for unbeatable construction equipment. From bulldozers to excavators, Ohio Cat delivers power, precision, and performance with the quality you expect. And with our one-stop rental shop, you get top-notch equipment with a long-term commitment. Whether it's a quick job or a major build, if you need it, Ohio Cat rents it. Visit ohiocat.com to explore our equipment options and make your next project a success. Ohio Cat, proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Getting started in hockey has never been easier. The Blue Jackets Learn to Play program, presented by Performance Columbus in association with Moo Express Car Wash and Kroger, is an introductory ice hockey program for boys and girls ages 4 to 10. Classes are held year-round at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Registration includes age-appropriate instruction and head-to-toe equipment, yours to keep. Hockey starts here at bluejackets.com/learn-to-play.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
You're listening to The Inside Edge.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Here's Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Getting ready to close out this week's edition of The Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank, and the Blue Jackets have tough games coming up this week. Tomorrow, the Florida Panthers will be at Nationwide Arena, and then on to Pittsburgh. That one looks easy on paper. It's not going to be. Hey, I love talking to Denton Matejchuk about his mental approach as to a young player going through everything he's going through right now. You know, he talks about it just like he plays, very calm and smooth.
Yeah, he's an impressive kid. You know, he's been a player they haven't been able to take out of the lineup because he's been consistent. He admitted he hit the wall there in Tampa and Florida, trying to do too much sometimes against those teams that are quick and in your face. Love that he's a mechanic. You know, working on getting his mechanic certificate online. Real interesting kid, grounded kid, and appreciative of being here. And a bright spot this season for the Blue Jackets, there's no question. So great for him to take that time, and I really enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. Let's talk about the league right now. And as we've been talking about this entire show, everything is tight. Yeah. It's that time of year. We're getting to the end of March. So everybody's got to lock it down. Teams that are in, they've got to stay in. Teams that are on the outside trying to get in, they got to pick it up.
And, you know, it's such an important part of the season to understand exactly what you are as a team. And I look at Utah last night, 7-1 loss to Edmonton in Edmonton. They're probably down today, but they're only 4 points behind the line of catching St. Louis. And Vancouver, who's still alive. Vancouver's over the line. Tied with St. Louis with 75 points. Calgary has a game in hand. They're at 73. I mean, that is a major spot. And Vancouver had a chance to wrap things up and create a little separation. They're just very inconsistent this year. Hughes has been hurt all year. Their defenseman, Quinn Hughes, one of the best in the league. Pettersson's had an off year. He's starting to wake up. Demko's been out all season. Good thing they got Lankinen. For the Calgary Flames, think about Steve Mason, what he did for the Blue Jackets to get them in the playoffs. The first time they were ever in the playoffs, won the Calder as a Rookie of the Year. That's what Dustin Wolf is doing for the Calgary Flames. And he was off the other night in Toronto. He got pulled for the first time in his NHL career. So, you know, there's a lot of great stories around the league. St. Louis, they were going to trade everybody. Everybody was gone, including their captain, Braden Shen. Now they're surging. Kairu's playing some of his best hockey. Thomas is playing some great hockey. Bennington's stopping the puck. So I think they're the team that could get in. So do our Canadian friends.
That Four Nations tournament was great for Bennington.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, really. When you talk about the way he's playing right now, and, yeah, those other guys are playing really well around him, but if he's not playing well, it doesn't matter, and that fired him up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it should, It's really it's important to have those moments within the season. Season can get long, and what a bright spot for him. And when you stay in the West, Dallas and Winnipeg is 1 win away, 2 points from 100 points already on the season, and with 10 games left. I mean, that team is, or more than that, 12 games left. Dallas still has 15 games left. Colorado's starting to hum. Man, they picked up some great players out there. So you don't want to
Never seen a team redo its roster in season like Chris McFarland has done as the GM of the Avalanche.
Goalies.
Yeah.
Everything. He's got everything changed. You don't want to finish second in the Central. And it looks like it's going to be Dallas, Colorado. That's going to be a tough matchup. Edmonton, LA, who knows? Vegas we saw the other night. They're good. But you move to the East, Bob, talk about tight. Let Ottawa go. I mentioned that earlier. They're at 77 points, but that could change. There's still a lot of hockey. They have to get to 91, okay? So there's still a long way to 91. Detroit, I mentioned their schedule. They're 3 points back. Boston's 4 points back. You got the Blue Jackets, the Islanders at 70, the Rangers at 72, and now the Blue Jackets are 3 back of Montreal. So that's tomorrow night. This is a huge back-to-back. For morale, for what they have to do. And they can beat Florida, and they have to beat Pittsburgh. So you can go into that and be conservative and say get one of the two. No, they have to win both of these games and then get ready for the next week, which starts with the Islanders. So, yeah, it's tight. And New Jersey is at 80 now. Remember, we just saw this is how things change.
Right.
We saw these guys 10 days ago, maybe.
Right. And there was, and you were,
one win, you were 2 points behind them.
With a couple of games in hand.
With 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
Now you're 10 points behind the New Jersey Devils.
Mm-hmm.
So things can change very, very quick. So for the Blue Jackets, I think that's encouraging. I know we're all we're off a little bit of the high with the team, but stick with it. It's a win. It's looking at the standings and looking at it and seeing it differently. It's a team losing. The Blue Jackets, though, need to take care of their own business.
All right, and they get the opportunity to do that starting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock against the Florida Panthers. Thanks, Jody.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. That's Jody Shelley, and we also want to thank Denton Matejchuk for joining us on tonight's show. 7 o'clock tomorrow, Panthers at Nationwide Arena against the Blue Jackets. Pregame coverage begins at 6:30 tomorrow night right here on The Fan. So that'll do it for this week's edition of The Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Bob McElligott saying so long on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone, any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Buying a home used to feel like a complete headache. Listings here, pre-approval there, financing somewhere else. Now, Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com. A single seamless homeownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things homeownership. Rocket. Own the dream.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Common Man here. I take my job as endorser for Germain Lexus very seriously. I want to make sure that every Lexus on the lot meets my expectations. That's why I personally sit in each one. I massage the leather. Sometimes I take a nap in the back seat. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Deal time. Lease the 2025 ES350 for as low as $409 per month, or get 3.49% financing up to 60 months on their most popular new Lexus models. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, GermainLexus.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616.